KOB News 10 presents Dialogue, a weekly public affairs program exploring community concerns and spotlighting regional activities.
And good Sunday morning to you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Dialogue. It is not every day that you get to talk with a professional athlete, especially a professional athlete from Southwest Georgia, where I have the honor, the privilege of doing just that today as Michaela Timpson, who is a player with the Indiana Fever, returned home for a wonderful reason. First of all, thank you so much for saying yes to our dialogue,
yes,
and congratulations to you.
Thank you, thank you. I'm good to be here. I'm glad to be here, so anything that I can do.
Well, the reason she's here, her high school jersey was recently retired. Now, we're taping actually the day that it is being retired, but by the time this airs, that honor would have been given to you. When you heard that your high school wanted to retire your jersey, share those emotions.
I'm just super excited. It's like a dream come true for a lot of different people, a lot of different players, but just grateful to have the opportunity and just to show who I am as a person and be able to represent not only myself, but also the community that I'm around and the places that I've been, and just to showcase who I am as a person, and just grateful.
Well, you, of course, I've learned, grew up with sisters, all sisters.
Yes.
And so, and I'm going to talk to your mom and dad a little bit later on,
Okay.
but was there competition growing up? Were you all athletic?
Yeah, I would say we were all pretty athletic, if we decided to be. We all got God-given talent, and also our parents played, sports as well. They played basketball. My mom ran track a little bit. So we're all pretty talented, but competition-wise with sports, not so much. I mean, it was just me as being the one that wanted to take it a little step further. I'm not sure about my little baby sister Abigail at the moment, but she might or she may not. But it's just, we were all competitive with academics. We really tried to. My dad used to reward us, we'd get $5 for every A that we had on our report card. So he instilled that into us to, have, something to look back onto and just to get a great education. But sports-wise, we were pretty even.
Well, let's talk about your first memory of playing basketball. You grew up in Southwest Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
You started playing basketball when? What is your first memory?
I would say my first memory is when I played rec ball in Arlington, Georgia with Coach Tony. So, yeah, that was maybe 10 to 12-ish, around that age, I would say, my first time playing basketball. But it was incredible. We did a lot of good things there. And it was fun just playing against the boys all the time, and we won. It was only 2 or 3 girls on the team, and I was one of those girls, so it was pretty good.
So when did you recognize that you had this gift, this talent?
I would say in the way that I competed playing against, the little boys in town. They always, push me around and try to rough me up a little bit, but I was giving them buckets, even at the rec games or, outside playing, and everybody came to my house because I had a basketball goal and we was on the concrete just playing ball. But yeah, that's what I would say when I recognized it.
And so Edison?
Yes, ma'am.
Is hometown. So they would, of course, start paying attention to Michaela.
Yeah.
At the games, at high school, and then you went to college. Talk about your college days.
Oh, I went to Florida State. I went there all my 4 years, but it was a great opportunity, great experience for me. I love Tallahassee. I've been there a few times going back and forth with church with my mom and dad. Know some good people down there that we know. And yeah, my college days were great. Every year I improved, and that was the biggest thing, to, put one step in front of another, just keep improving so I could be where I am today.
Well, talking about where you are today, as we said that you were drafted of April last year, Indiana Fever.
Yes, ma'am.
Was, first of all, that moment, the name is called.
Yeah.
The name is called. Is it that situation where the family's there with you?
Yes.
Describe that whole setting.
Well, so my college coach, Brooke Wyckoff, we was able to not really rent, but I had all my family upstairs where the coaches' lounges were.
And this is where? Where was this?
Florida State.
Okay, you were okay.
Yeah, we had a good little time there. We got food and we had drinks and everything, and all my family came. There was so many people that just came to support me in that little, well, it wasn't a small building, but in the coach's office. So, I mean, it's big, but not really as big. But it was just a great experience just to see everybody there to support me and just to see where I was going, because I wasn't sure at all. Like, I had no idea that I would go to Indiana, but it's been great, and I hope to continue my journey there.
And so once you get to Indiana,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to say as a little girl, but say during college days, and you start
Yes,
thinking about possibly being drafted.
Yes, ma'am.
Did that meet that expectation? I mean, describe that for you once you got to Indiana. What is that learning experience like?
It was great, you know, just learning how to move without the ball. You know, you have to do a lot of different things. If you don't have the ball, you either have to cut or you have to move to another spot. You have to screen for the opposite side of the court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just have to do a lot of different things if you don't have the ball in your hands to be successful as a team in the W.
And was that experience being a part of the WNBA, was that, I'm here, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be, or was it a little bit more?
I would say it was a little bit more. Like, I was here to, you know, I'm in the W to grow, to keep growing in my career, and also just learning from the vets that was on the team and the people, all my teammates, they were really supportive. They helped me throughout my first year. And, you know, I'm excited for my second year, but it was just a different life. You know, you just have to watch a lot of things you say, you know, a lot of places, you know, people going to recognize you more often, and it's just a whole lot that goes into it, but it's great for the most part.
One of the other things you shared with me, talking about, you know, your teammates and the support, you were, was it the youngest on the team?
Yes.
Were you nervous?
No, not really, because, I mean, the W, that's what it's going to be, you know, a lot of older women who's been there for, you know, some 12 years. It can go for as long as they feel, you know, as long as their body allows them to keep playing. So they really older, and, you know, just a lot of things you have to grow out of and just be more mature about.
Now, one of the things that even regardless of the career, I always say, you know, when you go into something, you need to be like a sponge.
Yeah.
To soak up all the knowledge and the wisdom, as you said, from the older players. Was that pretty much your mentality as well? Like, I've got to learn everything I watch.
Yeah.
You know, do you ask them a lot of questions?
Yeah, I would especially ask the people in my position a lot of questions, you know, just to see how to be successful. You know, when I get the opportunity on the court, you know, just be myself, but also do the things that I see them doing in practice. You know, I watch them a lot. I, you know, watch basketball a lot. And I'm able to, you know, implement that into my game to be successful for the team. Okay,
we need to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about the fact that you also played internationally.
Yes, ma'am.
And one of the things, when you come home or wherever you travel, I am sure that there are young people who try to pick your brain, try to ask, you know, wisdom, advice. If I want to be like you one day when I grow up, what do you tell them? So we're going to talk more with Makayla Timpson, who is a player with the Indiana Fever, and she had her jersey retired recently in her hometown. We'll talk more with her after the break. Stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us and staying with us as we are celebrating a Southwest Georgian. I guess we could entitle this show "The Making of a Professional Athlete," because Makayla Timpson is a player with the Indiana Fever. She was drafted April the 14th of last year, so you're not a year yet.
No,
and she was home recently to have her jersey retired. Now, what position do you play with Indiana?
Power forward.
Okay, and for all of us non-athletes, I mean,
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
pretty much the position you've always played in college and in high school?
Yes, it always been the position I played. Just you know, on the block a little bit and just stretch out to the elbow. Which free throw line is.
Okay, I got you. I got you. I got
Okay.
you. All right, very good. So also you have played internationally now. What is that? That's during the off season, correct?
Yes. Yeah, during the off season, I went to Prague for 2 months.
And let's talk about that experience.
It was a great experience just to be in another country. That was not my first time because we had a foreign trip in college. We went to Greece and Croatia for 10 days, you know, 5 days in Greece and 5 days in Croatia. But this was the longest that I've been internationally, you know, over in Europe, in Prague, which is in the Czech Republic. So it was a great experience. You know, the first 2 weeks I was like, man, what am I doing over here? You know, am I going to make it? But once I adapted to the culture and just being away, the rest of my time was pretty good there.
As I said, you were home recently when your jersey was retired from your high school. What was your high school?
Early County High School.
Okay, and then you said you played with Arlington?
Oh yeah, the rec center.
The rec center there in Arlington.
Yeah.
And so I guess I asked you about the emotion of when they notify you, we're going to retire your jersey. What came to your mind and to your heart?
My heart is just full, you know. A lot of things really don't come to my mind. I just, you know, live in the moment and just continue to grow and just thank God for what he's doing in my life and, you know, just, you know, showcasing my talent and, you know, trying to fulfill my purpose here.
Well, I mentioned that, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of, when you return home to Edison, there are a lot of young people who are just in awe of you. I want to ask you 2 questions and then I'm going to talk with your parents. But what, I guess, would you say has been the most valuable advice you have received? And then what is the advice that you give to young people or to other people aspiring to be where you are?
Yeah, I received a lot of great advice, you know, but I would say something that sticks out most to me is just, you know, love what you do and, you know, love yourself the most while you're doing it because, you know, nobody's going to push you to do it, especially, I mean, they can, but if you don't love what you do, then what's the point in doing it? So I would say just, if it's something you truly love, you're going to put all your passion into it, your whole heart into it, and just remembering the things that got you where you are today and just continue to grow each day. And
before you answer that second question, you made me think of, you know, so many, we've heard the stories, young athletes hit the big time, they're out there on the world stage and something goes awry. What do you think, what do you give credit to in terms of staying grounded and not going awry?
Yeah. I would say, you know, God, you know, he's a great God in all aspects of my life. And, you know, just staying grounded and being true to yourself, you know, knowing the reason why you're here. You know, if you have a loving, supportive family that I do, you know, that pushes me to continue to keep going. And if you're not able to have a loving family, I know some players and situations are different, just something that just pushes you to, you know, I want to do this or I want to be who I said that I'm going to be, you know, whether that's your friends, you know, adopted parents, foster parents, it can be a teacher, you know, a dentist, you never know. Somebody that just instilled in you and saw something great in you, just always remember that in the back of your mind and just keep pushing.
Now, advice you give to others who say, how did you get where you are? What can I do?
I would say just be consistent and just love what you do overall. You know, it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's not easy at all. You know, every day is a challenge, but you just got to keep going and keep pushing and also just believing in yourself, knowing that you can do anything you put your mind to.
Michaela, thank you so much. This has been a treat for me. A non-athlete, but just the idea that something, somebody, someone great can come from Southwest Georgia and doesn't forget home. And again, congratulations on that jersey being retired. A pleasure.
Thank you.
I want to talk with your mom and dad. So stay with us, everybody. We'll have more after the break. Thank you for staying with us. We're still celebrating the success of Michaela Timpson from Southwest Georgia. Her parents now join us, Renee and Eric Timpson, themselves athletes back in the day. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for being a part of this celebration. You know, when you heard that the school wanted to retire her jersey,
yes,
what was your reaction?
It's an honor. It's an honor, an honor especially for her with all the hard work that she has done and put in the effort to do. But it's just an honor all the way around. Your emotions can't really explain it, everything. They always ask us, how do y'all feel having a pro athlete? We're like, she's just Michaela to us. So
she's your baby.
Yes. So I guess it's really haven't dawned on us yet, but it's just special, a special moment.
And then what about for you, Dad?
Oh, absolutely. Just knowing how hard she's worked over the years,
right,
and being able to put your legacy somewhere, that's in and of itself, knowing that whenever someone goes in that gym, they remember number 21.
Oh, wow.
And it's an honor,
yes,
very humbling experience, and just a gift to share.
And inspire those other young people.
Exactly.
Now,
Absolutely.
you know,
yeah,
when you talk about the hard work, of course, we've talked about, she talked about playing at, you know, in Arlington.
yes,
Right.
And
ball.
at high school. And she also, what, travel ball?
She did.
No, what is that? That's like, what, more exposure?
It
I mean,
is.
did you have this runway to get to this level, and those were steps you took, or that she took?
Those were the steps that we all took. We had a hand in it throughout the whole situation. We came about travel ball. She was invited to, I guess you show your talents with Albany State. Was it with
All-Star.
All-Star?
And she was in, I believe, the 7th grade
Yes.
at that moment. And she was able to come and be a part of the All-Star for Southwest Georgia. Now, I'm going to be honest, I was upset with her. She really didn't come forth with the effort.
Yes, that
And
you
so
wanted.
I left.
Oh, no, Dad.
I left.
Okay.
Man, she don't want to do it. And so I think Renee called me and said, Michaela got MVP. I'm like, huh? You know. And from that moment we met Michael Woods. He's of Columbus, Georgia. And that's when she began to start playing travel ball. And, you know, and it gave us experiences that, you know, we hadn't really, you know, been able to do or even thought about doing.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask you, you know, when you recognized her talent, you know, when she was much younger,
Right.
did you ever think that she would be here?
No.
No.
No. I remember it was, I believe she was in the 7th grade, and somebody called me and told me, Michaela, she scored 20 points. And so I was like, okay, that's probably a one time, you know, she probably just was, as we call it, hot that game. You know? But they called me again and said, well, this game she had 19. So at that moment, I was like, okay, we may have something here. And from that moment, sky's been the limit.
Okay.
And it was like, man, this kid,
She's got something.
Yeah, she's got something. And, you know, just to see her gifts,
Right.
you know, and not only that, she comes from a line of just gifted athletes.
Well, now I was going to get to that
Right.
because both of you were athletes.
Yes.
Now, what was your sport?
I played basketball, I ran track, and I played softball.
Okay, and you?
I just did basketball, basically.
Okay, so the basketball gene is there.
Yes.
Yeah, and she has a host of uncles that
Yeah.
played, and I mean that the athleticism
It's there.
is just there. And I've seen her be able to just do things, and I'm like, man, this kid is, and it's like this second nature.
it comes easy to her.
Comes easy, naturally.
Yeah, with us, we had to work
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, we had to work.
Well, now I do know that you have a total of 4 children?
4 girls.
All girls.
Yes.
All girls.
So talk about the athleticism gene for the other 3.
Yes.
Okay, the other 3, the oldest is Erin. She played basketball in high school, ran track and volleyball. Ryan, she played softball, which she loved it, but she didn't stick to it.
Okay.
Then there's the baby girl, Abigail. She played basketball 1 year, volleyball 2, and she ran track 2. So
Sports
is
just
there.
runs
Yeah.
in the family.
It's there.
So when your professional athlete is drafted by the Indiana Fever, Indiana is not right around the corner.
it's not.
So let's talk about the excitement, but also our baby is going to Indiana.
Right.
Well, you grow in incremental stages.
Okay.
Of course, we had to adapt to her going to Florida State, which was 2 hours away. Even during the recruiting process, one of the major things was, okay, we need to kind of stay, at least. I didn't want her no more than about 5 to 6 hours away.
Okay.
In case something happens, we were able to
Get there.
get to her or whatever. And so, even adjusting to, realizing that, okay, you can't just go in her room now and wake her up or mess with her.
Yeah, that was hard for me.
And so, allowing her to, choose the school of her choice, and we were fortunate. She
Chose close. Somewhat close.
Yes.
Yes.
And from that point, it's never, quote unquote, easy, but it was more comforting knowing that, okay, she's only 2.5 hours away and we can get there should something go on.
So when you're fast forward to that draft,
Yes.
and when you all were all in the coach's office or wherever,
Right.
and they said Indiana,
Right.
you were excited, but was there a but?
It wasn't a but for me.
Okay.
It was for me, though.
It was for him, but not me.
Okay.
But it was exciting for me because first thing I was like, Kayla, you get to play with Caitlin Clark. And I was like, how that happened? And to me, I was like trying to rack your brain around how in the world it happened. I was like, it's a God thing.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
What God has for you, it is for you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, and so why was it a but for you?
Well, because I knew getting drafted was the first step. Just because you would get drafted doesn't mean you're on the team.
Right.
You have to make what they call the roster. And me, as I'm looking, I see all of these,
Heavy
household
duty.
names. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, if she's going to be able to even make that roster.
Yeah, she's
Which
going
let
to
me back up
compete.
though. But one thing I've seen over the years is that you have to get your feet wet. And even with her first year at Florida State,
Right.
I monitor. I keep close eye, and just seeing her acclimate to then college ball. Now seeing
And
her
she did it.
and she
She
did
did.
it.
And she did it.
And
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say though, we've got a minute, and what I hear is that she got that foundation. Mom and Dad at times may have been a little bit
Yes.
Yeah.
and but so there's somebody out there who has a child who may aspire to do the same types of things she's done. And if you can quickly, what do you say to them in terms of the investment and the belief in them?
Yes, because actually before Michaela started all this, we asked her, is this something that you want to do? And she said yes, and that was just it. We're going to back you up 100%.
All right, so let me do this. I did ask her if she's on social media, if people want to follow her, keep up with her. She is on social media. She's under what? Just her name?
It's Kay Timpson.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing her story. Congratulations, Michaela, and have a wonderful Sunday, everybody.